From worrier to warrior. Hoorah. Worrier to warrior. Okay, we're here. All right, I'm just checking everything. Got my notes ready. Hi, everybody. Elaine Marolakos Edelson with Astrology Mojo and Transformational Astrology. Want to help you get your mojo back. How are we going to do that? Well, first of all, you need to understand the definition in astrology, that the planets don't make you do anything. No, they don't. And that we live in a cooperation so that when the planets make a move, you feel it. When you make a move, the planets reflect that by way of aspects and angles in the galaxy. Pretty cool, huh? So basically, astrology tells you what time it is. Well, what time is it? It is time to talk about the worry that you have, the Virgo lineup that we're in, and what you can do. First of all, let me know that you're here. Who's here? Come say hello to me. Where are you from? What's your birthday? Do you know your sun and your rising sign? These things are quite important in astrology. So we've got an exciting show for you today. Yes, I'm going to call it a show. That we're looking at the Virgo, the energy of the Virgo lineup. That would be Sun, Mars, especially all the way through October 3rd, Venus, and then eventually soon Mercury is going to be joining the parade. And I'll show you what it looks like, but all these planets in the sign of Virgo are going to be trining, woohoo, that's a blessing angle in astrology, Uranus and Taurus. And so what does that mean? It means you can actually let go of something that you've been striving to release if you give it attention. And giving it attention simply means where you put your focus and how to create that synapse, that neurological brain entrainment difference that takes you out of one thought. I'm going to show you my toy and puts you in another. So here, all your thoughts. Here are all your thoughts. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. Can't do it. Never going to happen. And then you focus on one thing. That is your joy. And you start to act as if. And when you act as if, poof, things happen. It's just the truth. Okay. Hey, Christine's here. Elizabeth's here. Hi, Dean. Who else is here? Come say hello to me. Okay. So, got my cards ready for later. And as we explore, I'm going to talk about 3 things you can do, because the more specific I am, the more you can just get right to it and hone in and put these methods and techniques into, and they are proven, and put them into practice, and you will see. Christine is a Sag, and Jen is an Aries sun with a Libra rising. Elizabeth is a Pisces. Dean is a Cancer, Taurus rising. I am a Taurus, Capricorn rising. So who else joining the party? Come say hello to me. So during this trine and Mercury has not yet joined the lineup yet, but very soon. And this energy lasts all the way through September 7th. So make the most of it, okay? This is really, I'm excited about this trine, and I want to see you use it. So let's talk about it. And what you can do to harness these energies. Just let me do a quick recap. I will be here from Monday. Well, no, I can't say from now on forever, because what is, except pure conscious love, that's forever. And that's you. But I'll be here Monday, Thursday, and Saturdays, 10 a.m. Pacific, Arizona time, 11 a.m. Mountain, noon Central time, 1 o'clock Eastern, 6 p.m. Greenwich time. Oh, we've got Claire is a Gemini. Bonjour. Comment allez-vous? That's all I know. Okay, so share the love. I'm going to post everything that I talk about here in this show on Facebook, gets put on my YouTube channel. If you want to catch up with fantastic videos, total content on how to go from fear to fantastic, how to overcome things in relationships, techniques you can use for brain entrainment. It's just a list that goes on for your wealth, health, passion, and purpose. And that's my YouTube channel, so you can subscribe. And once you do, you click the little bell, and then you will be notified every time there is a new video. So go ahead, and I'm going to write this in. Subscribe to my Astrology Mojo YouTube channel. Okay, awesome. So, très bien. I was thinking of the movie. Dean, what was the movie that we love? Oh, The 100-Foot Journey. Okay, we love food movies, cooking movies, but The 100-Foot Journey, it's a combination of, if you haven't seen it, it's a must. So French countryside and Eastern Indian cooking. Put them together, what do you get? I love it. Okay, so now last time we talked about how to organize, strategize, and actualize one specific goal. That is still in play. All these planets harnessing the Virgo energy, trining, the triangle, kind of, sort of, Uranus in Taurus, because Virgo is an earth sign, Taurus is an earth sign, and they are complementary. That means grounded in practicality, but utilizing something that gives you absolute freedom. So when you put the focus, the sun, Mars, action, Venus, beauty, love, protection, also finances, and then eventually anesthetics, and eventually Mercury, your perception, judgments, and beliefs. Put that all together, and then there's an open door. Where do you want to take your focus? Where do you want to take your ideas of finances or aesthetics or beauty or love and romance? Or how do you want to act on these things? That's what we're going to talk about. So last time was clear the clutter, and then strategize your tasks and prioritize in order of importance. And then 3, release negative judgments just by being present and refocusing on compassion. Now, just to recap the vibe of Virgo, which is very fastidious, it can be very analytical, scientific, very spiritually oriented, always looking for new expression. Virgo is the earth sign that is more like an air sign because it's quick to move, and it's very focused on details in a way that advances science, healing, wellness. Also, a vibe for Virgo can be kind of judgmental on the negative side, very shy and or anxious, and a worrier. So Taurus is loyal, steadfast, stubborn, needs pleasure, sensuality, and beauty, and goes a little bit slower, but needs to value that security, right? And then the sun is your focus. Mars is action. And remember, these planets just represent the energies in you, okay? They're not doing anything to you. Mercury is all about your perceptions, how you learn, how you speak, what communication is on the inside, okay? And then Uranus is total rebellion. It is erratic at times. It is sudden, abrupt. It is the fresh breeze that enters a stale room when all the windows have been closed all winter. So if you are seeking, sometimes it's control, but its aim is freedom and humanitarianism. So, and that's the part of you that wants to do the quote unquote right thing, or the energetically compassionate thing, right? Okay, so now let's go from worrier to warrior in 3 stellar steps, shall we? Yes. So a trine, let's show you what it looks like. Here's the trine. Da, 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 da. Da, I'll make it a little bigger. Okay, so we see Venus, Sun, Mars, Mercury. Soon. Mercury's not there yet. This is a chart for September 2nd, but this is where we're headed. So start now. Mars is already there. And as of tomorrow, the sun is already there in Virgo. So when we see the green triangles to Saturn, we're going to talk about that as well, and to Uranus. Oops, I need to move my whoopsie, there, to Uranus and Taurus, which is at 6 degrees in retrograde. By January, it'll be in 2 degrees. So anywhere from 2 to 6 degrees is your window for Uranus. And then when we look at the trines, we also see the squares, the red boxes. And that is, those planets will be squaring. It's really uncomfortable. It's this conflict. It's the thing I don't want to look at. I keep avoiding it. And that is to Jupiter. We're going to be talking about that on Saturday. But right now, the trine, the open doors to your structure. Saturn represents structure and ambition and the practical steps that you can take to act as if the slow and steady climb all the way to the top. So what does that look like for you? Well, in order to understand what you want to accomplish, and to set this trine energy in motion, what's presenting itself to you right now is where we're going. So what's showing up in your life right now that is recurring? What is the issue that keeps coming back? What is the thing that you just can't seem to shake or get rid of? You got a dead horse on your back. What's happening? Why does it keep coming back? You get a new job. Oh my gosh, your boss is the same as the last one. You meet someone at a party and it's a good, you think, oh, this will be a good friend. And you start to go along and then suddenly it's the same situation as the last time. Or you have an opportunity to present your ideas or opinions to the higher ups. And then every time you do, you get knocked down. So what is the one thing that keeps recurring? I want to see it in the comment box so I can help you best. What's the one thing that keeps showing up? What's the obstacle? Okay, I mean, technically the obstacles are the squares, but we need to become aware of that now as we move through this week, and then we'll talk more about it on Saturday. And remember, if you're listening to this in a replay, this energy is evergreen because the definitions will help you to deal with other issues and conflicts in the future. So, now, once you understand what the main obstacle is, I want you to write it down. It's really important. Get very clear on what the obstacle is. I had one client who, no matter where she went in her high-level paying job, she kept meeting her father. And her father, when she was young, was very dictatorial, judgmental, harsh, invalidating. So there she was again. And we talked about it for the past 3 weeks, knowing what was coming up. And I said, well, now's the chance to go through that door for your freedom. What are your choices? And so we looked at the choices. And so I want you to look at what's the recurring obstacle, okay? And, it's like if you keep hitting a brick wall with something, that's going to stop you from advancing and manifesting in every other aspect of your life. On some level, okay? So keep that in mind. So 1, write it down. Get clear on the obstacle, write it down. 2, I want you to then, step 2, stellar step 2, is to really imagine what your life would look like if that issue were neutralized or mitigated somehow or reversed, otherwise the opposite of what it is now, the thing that you really want it to look like. What would it look like? And I want you to write it down. And what happens when you write it down? And I don't mean type it. You use different chemicals in your brain and you get those pen and pencil hands working again, okay? Because when you're able to really get clear of the obstacle and then present it on paper and then imagine the exact opposite, or see it diminish, what rises up instead? What shows itself instead? Those are the details you need to get so specific about because, and I'm not just saying, oh, somebody comes by and pays all my bills. Yay, and I live happily ever after. Okay, no, I'm talking about if you keep attracting the same thing in life, the same lover, the same kind of friendship, the same job opportunity or no job opportunities. And you keep going around the same thoughts in your brain over and over and over again. And you say, oh, it's never going to happen. I'm never going to get there. It's just the same old. Why bother? These are the places we need to really, clear out the shadows, shine some light. What are we focused on right now? What's the action you want to take? Okay, let me just check the... Come say hello to me if you're just joining us. We're talking about the lineup of Virgo, Sun, Venus, Mars, eventually Mercury pretty soon, all trining first Uranus and also Saturn. So when we have this trine, beep, beep, a triangle in the universe, it opens doors. It's blessings. It represents your blessings. So Carlita's here. Hi. Rosie is here. Oh, okay. Rosie wants to advance in relationship. So then the thing to do, and Christine says my self-esteem issues keep popping up. And so Christine says, in my mind, I'm the Supergirl, then reality shoots me down. Okay, so if there's a disconnect between what you're imagining, and I don't mean pretend that everything's great when it's not. What I mean is once you're aware of the problem, so you say, okay, Rosie says, my relationship, it's not going so great. Then what could you do differently? This is the part where you really want to write it down. What are the issues that happen? So if it's we don't communicate well, or I do all the work, or we never talk about the sticky, ugly, uncomfortable things. This is the square that's showing itself with Jupiter. Your expansion is squelched. You don't get the freedom you want. You give way too much freedom. You don't set healthy boundaries. I mean, there's a slew of things that could be going on with your relationship in general, and that means for everyone as well, not just for Rosie. But what else is going on? When is the last time you had this situation before that person existed? See, now you're going to start to get clarity and and hone in on, wow, before Joe was in my life, it was Timothy. Oh my gosh, you know what? Same person, different day. And then before that, it was my arguments I used to have with my brother. Oh my gosh. And then before that, it was I never felt comfortable with my dad, or my dad was never around. So you start to go back in time and you really pinpoint, when's the last time I felt this feeling? Once you're clear on the obstacle and you write about it, now write about the opposite. What would it feel like to be empowered, to go from that, oh, I worry it's never going to happen, to I'm there, even if it's not. And I don't mean false illusion pretending. What I'm talking about is to start to create new synapses in your brain, new neurons, all right, that are very specific about, you know what, I really do deserve it. The last time I had this kind of relationship, I was a different person. I didn't feel like I deserved it. But now, if I could go back and champion that younger me, the child in me, the 22-year-old in me, I would tell her, eat healthy food, stop starving yourself, or, get clear on what makes you happy, and let's focus on those jobs. What are the fears that stop you? So you can really hone in on what the obstacle is, the last time you felt it, the first time you felt it, as far back as you think as you can remember, and then you write about the opposite. Does this make sense? So, when Christine says, in my mind, I'm Supergirl, and you really are. Not just in your mind, but in my mind too, you're Supergirl. But when life shoots you down, I want you to go back. Who else has shot you down other than yourself? A parent, a spouse, a boss, a friend. Just start honing, who has shot you down before, and use your own language. And Elizabeth says, I put my day job before my true calling, and I am less and less happy with my day job. Well, that's very clear. And Elizabeth is a superpower person as well, and knows how to stop that self-denial, right? The opposite is I put my full focus on my writing and my finances. Okay, so if the day job can support the writing, then let it. Let it, even if it's in increments, a little at a time. Then you put together, okay, and this brings us to, folks, okay, so let's just recap. If you're just joining us, we're talking about the Virgo lineup, and it trying Saturn, structure, and organization, and ambition, and Uranus, open door to freedom. All right, from Worrier to Warrior, what are 3 stellar steps you can take? And the first one is you got to get clear on the issue, and you need to write it down. Write it. Scribble, scribble, scribble. I want you to use a pen, a marker, a crayon. We're not going to type it. And the reason why is because we access different chemicals. And it becomes more personal when we're actually writing by hand. And then you get clear on it and then journal about it. When's the last time I felt this feeling? How often does it come up? What is my reaction or response when this thing shoots me down? Or I keep putting work first? Or I'm doing the opposite of what I need to be doing for me? What is my reaction or response? So as you get clear on it, then you look at the opposite. What would I like it to look like? Now you have what it is and what you want. So how do we bridge the two? Well, isn't that the question? I'm going to ask you to do one thing. One thing. It can be daily. It could be the same thing daily. It can be one thing per week. But one thing that is absolutely new and fresh, like that fresh of breath of fresh air. Did I just say that backwards? That is outside your comfort zone, toward your goal, completely toward your goal. What is that one thing that you can do daily, hourly? Why not hourly? I don't dare. Oh, look at my cup. It's magical. Ooh, I'm drinking the galaxy right now. Okay, this is so trippy. I just want to sit here and stare at the cup. Okay. Whatever it is you'd like to do, pick one thing. Pick one thing, get clear, write about it. Understand the last time you felt it. Keep going back until you can come to the first time you ever felt it. Okay. And then imagine and then write about what does the opposite look like? What if this issue were just decompressed for a week, a day, a year? What could you experience? What joys could there be? And then you might say, well, in my relationship, I would express myself without fear of the person leaving me. Or I could express myself without us getting into an argument. So in order for that to happen, then here comes the bridge. The bridge. What is the bridge between this and what you want? That is your imagination. That is your creation. That is your design. So pick one thing and act on that one thing, new and fresh idea outside your comfort zone. Do it daily, hourly, weekly. Just start. Just start it going. Get the ka-chugga-chugga-chugga train moving out of the station, okay? Because then what happens is you start to create neurons that fire off hey, we don't need to argue. Or, hey, we don't need to belittle ourselves or minimize ourselves or not have boundaries. We can set that one boundary. What happens? We walk out on the ledge of fear and go, you know what? It feels free. It's freeing to say no. It's freeing to focus on my writing. It's freeing to feel like I'm a super person outside my front door, right? Thumbs up, let me know. Also, recapping, I want you to be able to listen to all my videos and benefit for wealth, health, passion, purpose. So go to my YouTube channel. I'm going to post that right now. Visit my, oopsie, I had typos, YouTube channel and subscribe. Okay, so now Heather says, I'm in a relationship that's really rocky. I've just sold everything I own and planning to move to Washington with my sister in hopes to save my relationship. I've sold everything, including my house, and have less than $200 in my pocket to show that it not being the point, that money's not the point, I think is what you're saying. Well, you would know ultimately if you're making the right move, right? I mean, that's the point of empowerment. If you're about to do something outside of your comfort zone like Heather is about to do, and you know you are at the final brink, you are at the crossroads, you can't hit your head against any more brick walls. You know, this is it. I have to do this. Then you break free of a restraint, self-inflicted restraint, something constricting, something that's stopping you, right? And then what happens is suddenly you feel like you can breathe. And then life gets a little bit more exciting. And this is what I'm talking about, because the synapses that you create in your brain, the brain doesn't know what's real or imagined, folks. I've talked about this before. This is your brain. on your reality. It doesn't know if it's real or imagined. So if you suddenly say to yourself, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? I'm so scared, the worrier. I'm terrified. I should just stay home and suffer the consequences and just, do the same thing over and over and over and over and over until suddenly, today's the last day of my day on earth and I want to kick myself because I wasted my entire life. So there are those synapses that feel very real and very limiting. We're going to talk more about that on Saturday. But these trines are representing open doors right now in your life. So look around, ask for help. Talk to other people, read, educate yourself, empower yourself, visualize what is the thing that could happen. What's the worst that could happen? This is what I'm going to be talking more about on Saturday, so I want you to come back. And in the meantime, let's just recap. What are we going to do to have these stellar changes and open doors really accentuate what you're manifesting? Well, number one, we're going to, what's that? You say, you're going to write down what the obstacle is, the recurring obstacle. And if it's not, I have to sell everything and start over, when's the last time you had to give up everything and feel like you had to start over? And if this is the first time, brava. Brava. We are here to support you. Okay? So all these issues that arise, we keep thinking, they are separate. It's like wealth, health, romance, my passion in life, my purpose. No. They're connected to one hand, connected to one body, connected to one being, connected to the entire galaxy, the universe. You are pure conscious love. Surprise! What do you want to do with that? I'm going to pull a card right after I recap. Okay, so you write down the obstacle. What's the recurring issue? And then from there, what do? Everybody knows already. You journal. When's the last time it happened? When's the last time it happened? When's the first time it happened? As much as you can remember. And now you journal and write about, what does it look like if I do the opposite? How could I decompress the negative and accentuate the positive? What does that look like? How does that feel? And this happens in truth. When you couple a new neuron in your brain with an emotional, compassionate, enthusiastic feeling, when you couple the two, you create an electrical charge. What happens then, peoples? Magic. Your focus. It starts to become real because you're thinking about it, you're thinking about it, you're thinking about it, and you take action toward it. And that is the third stellar step. Do one thing a day, an hour? Come on, you could do it. A week? In the month? Okay. If you're just starting out and you're really terrified, okay, but then, amp it up a bit. And then what happens is suddenly the doors open and you didn't even know that they existed. They just magically appear in front of your face. And you go, really? I didn't know that was there. I didn't know that was possible. That person, that talk, that workshop, that music, that something, that meditation, that visualization, that dream, that data, that research, that action just gave me permission to be more of me. And that is freedom. Pure conscious love. My friends, it's all possible. Elizabeth says, I owe an article to a day job related blog and I've been so worried about being myself. Oh my, who might I offend? Yourself. You're offending yourself right now by not living your dream. That's who you're offending. Now, but how sweet and kind and thoughtful of you. So now there are videos on YouTube where I do EFT tapping. So I want you to go and find those videos and work your way in 3 minutes a day from worrier to warrior. Now I'm going to pull a card. Thank you for sharing, everyone. I really appreciate you commenting and sharing. Give me some thumbs up. Facebook likes when there's participation. Literally, they have logarithms. If people aren't participating, things get put to the bottom of the barrel. And I don't live at the bottom of the barrel. I don't. All right, I'm going to pull a card for everyone. We want to focus on our greatest joys. That's why we came here, to overcome those fears that limit us. We're going to talk about that on Saturday, 10 a.m. Pacific Mountain, Pacific Arizona time, 11 a.m. Mountain time. Everybody with me right now. Take a nice, deep, long breath. Inhale. And exhale. Aren't you just blown away by yourself? Because you see those little stars of this very spiritual, metaphysical galaxy nebula called NGC 4485. Yeah, that's what I would have named it. Thank you, NASA. But that's what you're made of. That's what you're made of. Space Odyssey. Remember that movie way back when? What does Keir Delay say at the very end? Does anybody know? Raise your hand. Anybody know? Keir Delay says at the end of Space Odyssey, "Oh my God, it's full of stars." And that's you. You're full of stars. Did I give away the ending? Oh, come on. Spoiler? Really? For a movie that's over 30 years old? Maybe. I'm so sorry. All right. Pulling a card now for Uranus to show us, and the energies that be to show us. I invite angels, starseed, pure conscious love, benevolent beings to show us some possibilities of expression. Oh, wow. 3 cards came out. Very beautiful. The first one is belief. What do you believe? Right? We're talking about perceptions, because if you believe that you can change and transform in the steps that I provided with you today, then it's possible. Because what do you need to work? Really? You need to work your mind. Oh, trippy. Oh, wow. Okay. Everybody trip out with me. Isn't that just beautiful? I love it. You got to work your mind and your synapses. You have to change your neurons, because if you don't, the vibration around you doesn't change. If your vibration doesn't change, then you keep attracting the same thing over and over and over again. You are the center of your universe, my friend. And what's going to change the whole thing ultimately, absolutely pure conscious love and you? Gratitude and sparkly little stars and diamonds. Gratitude. Gratitude. Be grateful every day. When you wake up and you think, I can't afford, the lint in my pocket, I want you to be grateful that you have breath in your lungs, that you have the possibility to change your mind. Change your mind. Save your life. Know that whatever you believe, you can alter that belief and make it work in your favor. That's called pure conscious love, being creative. That's why you came here. And ultimately, it is gratitude. Be grateful, grateful, grateful for everything you have. I have my limbs. I have my eyes. I have a desk. I have electricity. I have my heart beating. I have compassion. These things are what going to get you, my English, not so good just now. These things are going to get you through what you think is not possible. You are possible. You exist. It's a miracle. All right, folks, make sense? That was like, I'm getting more succinct with these, and I feel like it's like speed dating. All right, I'll be back on Saturday. One more drink from the magical Galaxy Cup. Why not? That was just so empowering. Thank you for being here. And thank you for being. Join me Saturday, 10 a.m. Pacific, and we'll be talking about the rest of the Virgo lineup and the square, which is the uncomfortable part. But I just gave you foundation to work with last week, on Monday and today. So I want you to work these solutions. They're so easy. You can do it. I trust. I believe. I have faith in you. All right, folks. Be well. Be you. Nobody else can. See you Saturday.